While the GOP candidates degenerate into anarchy, Biden is becoming more and more unsuitable for office. According to polls, the now twice indicted Donald Trump is still far ahead in the GOP primary for president in 2024. But his opponents, such as Ron DeSantis, Mike Pence, Chris Christie most recently, etc., appear to be becoming stronger every day and are now coming at him from new angles. It's becoming more intimate, ugly, and unpredictable, and it's impossible to turn away. What is happening on the Democratic side, where President Sleepy Joe Biden is opposed by two unelectable eccentrics, is less notable. It appears that he will be the party's nominee in 2024 despite his declining mental and physical acuity, numerous policy gaffes, and any repercussions from the GOP investigation into Hunter Biden's laptop. Even someone as unqualified as Sleepy Joe will have a difficult time unseating a president who is running for re-election. Or perhaps not. Biden appears to get worse with every sandbag caused to tumble, every muddled Rose Garden speech, ongoing inflation, and an endless border crisis. More and more unfit for office by the minute. Again, he is the president. Party elders and backrooms chomping on cigars no longer pick the candidates. If he wants the nomination, it's his. Unless one day, maybe someday soon or just minutes before he's officially the nominee at next year's party convention, or when he's going one-on-one with the GOP nominee, he can't get out of bed. Or he loses his ability to speak and reason even more. Perhaps Dr. Jill Biden confers with real doctors and somehow convinces her stubborn hubby he needs to go into retirement. The 2024 election is poised to be a Biden v. Trump rematch. AP. Advertisement. That latter scenario sounds crazy, I know. It's also clearly plausible, and increasingly so, my Wall Street sources who get paid a lot to gauge such black swans tell me. They say it would throw the Democratic Party and country into chaos, particularly if Biden drops out later rather than sooner. If he's nominated, or on the verge, party delegates would be pledged to Sleepy Joe and they are mostly his for the keeping. That's where, I am told, the bartering and the confusion begins. How are Trump and Biden, the two worst men in America, the frontrunners? His unpopular and obviously equally inept VP, Kamala Harris, could be given the mantle as the nominee because in the PC-obsessed Dem Party, you just don't bypass a woman of color no matter how unqualified. Unless, that is, some real players, like California Governor Gavin Newsom or Governor J.B. Pritzker of Illinois, do something crazy at the convention or shortly after, bend some rules and stage a do-over for the nomination. The scenario, as crazy as all this sounds, is making the opportunity for Democratic voters to nominate someone less lame than Biden or Harris, who has failed at every task given her, the border at the top of the list. The American people will also be spared the ordeal of listening to her equally lame attempts at profundity, where she makes the bumbling Biden sound downright Churchillian. Crisis averted? Not really, because the markets will have the GOP candidate to worry about. Another real possibility that a certain red-haired crazy man who picks Twitter fights, incited a riot and faces multiple indictments is the nominee and possibly wins the presidency in 2024. Opportunity for Democratic voters to nominate someone less lame than Biden or Harris, who has failed at every task given her, the border at the top of the list. The American people will also be spared the ordeal of listening to her equally lame attempts at profundity, where she makes the bumbling Biden sound downright Churchillian. Crisis averted? Not really, because the markets will have the GOP candidate to worry about. Another real possibility that a certain red-haired crazy man who picks Twitter fights, incited a riot and faces multiple indictments is the nominee and possibly wins the presidency in 2024.